So in my last video, I did something terrible. I started telling you guys a really interesting story, and I didn't finish it. I got right to the climax of the story and I just took it away from you. If you guys haven't seen that video, highly recommend you check it out. It was actually a pretty good video. And based on the comment section of that video, it seemed like you guys wanted me to finish telling you that story. So today, that is what I'll be doing, and I will be taking this story all the way back to day one. The day I met the girl, and I'm gonna bring it all the way to what I said in the coffee shop. If you haven't seen my last video, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that first, then come back to this video so you're all caught up to speed, because that's a very fun video. But this video starts 6 months before that video before the story in that video even happened. Because believe it or not, this whole thing started with, yeah, you guessed it, Tinder. Gotta love Tinder. I fucking hate Tinder, but I love Tinder, but I hate Tinder. I didn't meet the girl off Tinder, but I matched with someone who ended up, through a weird set of circumstances, led me to meeting her. Many months ago, I'm on Tinder, I'm doing my swipe, and I'm going left, I'm going right, and I match with this one girl who lives very close to me. She lives on campus at one of the schools that are really close by to me. And I matched this girl on a Friday, so she messages me, and she goes, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Very forward. I don't mind. Now, I had a couple plans, but it was very early in the day, so I was open-minded to, you know, better options. And apparently, there was a party going on at her college that night. I'd never been to that school before, so, hey, we got a winner. Then, a couple hours later in the day, I matched with another girl, still not the girl that we're talking about in the other story, but I matched with another girl. I look at her profile, I find out, hey, she goes to the same school as the other girl. I should shoot her a message and be like, hey, I'm gonna be at your school tonight. So I message her, we start talking a little bit, I tell her I'm gonna go there for a party, and her response is basically like, yeah, no one throws parties at this school. What are you talking about? And so I give her the name of the girl who I matched with from earlier who invited me. And the school that they go to, by the way, is a super small school, maybe like 2,000 or 3,000 people. So yeah, not a lot of people. Wait, how many people go to this school? I can actually look it up. There's 1,500 people that go to this school. Wow. And I give her this name, and we're gonna call this girl, for the sake of her anonymity, we're gonna call her Sarah. And as soon as I tell her that I'm going to meet up with a girl named Sarah, her response was almost immediate. She started asking me to describe what this girl Sarah looked like. And me, I am terrible at descriptions. I was like, I don't know, brown hair, brown eyes, white chick, what? I don't know. I have a very limited vocabulary, okay? I'm sorry. Then she sends me her number just so I can take a screenshot of her profile and send a picture of what she looks like. So I do that, and she responds with, "Oh my god, do not meet up with this girl. She is psychotic, she will stalk you, don't do it." And I'm like, why not? She seems harmless. What is she possibly gonna do? And apparently this girl has dated other guys at that school, and she has now multiple restraining orders on her. Or at least one. I think it was just one. I don't know if there's multiple. I'm just gonna say one. That's not the point. One restraining order is one too many for me personally. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I already made plans to meet up with this girl, and now I'm supposed to meet up with her, and if she's psychotic and I flake on her, she might kill me. I don't know what to do. So me and her start trying to figure out what I should do, because I don't want to just tell this girl 1 second, yeah, I'm totally down to meet up, and then the next second be like, yeah, I'm good, fuck you. So eventually, we devise a plan where I, instead of meeting up with her, I tell her, hey, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna meet up with one of my other friends who go to the school. So then I can go to the party with her, we'll get there, I'll meet the other girl, and then she can then, you know, say, I told you so when I find out after one conversation that she's psycho. Awesome. So I think it sounds like a great idea, but there's one thing I want to do first, because I don't know either of these girls. I don't know what the hell is going to happen. So obviously, I call up my boy Daryl. I go, yo, Daryl, we got 2 crazy girls. I don't know what's gonna happen. I need backup. And my boy Daryl, he's always down for a party, and he also likes crazy girls, so it's just perfect, so he's in. So he shows up at my place, we roll out, we get to the campus, we meet our new best friend. Honestly, this girl was so cool in person. It's like really, like, the thing is, when you meet someone off Tinder, there's always that anxiety that they're gonna be like crazy or weird or something, but this girl was so cool, and she knew everyone, and all the people there, by the way, at this campus, everyone was just really nice and happy. No one even knew me, and they're like offering me drinks, they're inviting me into their dorms to drink with them and play beer pong. I'm like, yes, please. And also, one thing that was really cool is that I used to go to this campus when I was a little kid for like summer camp, and now it's just funny because I'm coming back like a decade later to get drunk and meet girls. Like, it's just, life is just great. Life really is beautiful. So we're hanging out, we're having a fun time. Eventually we go to the party. Now, I was told initially that this school throws no parties. This was my first time there, and I can tell you, just based off the first party that I went to, this was not going to be my last time going there. It was beautiful. It was outside. It was like the perfect weather. It was like between like 3 buildings, and it was like tucked away in like a corner, so it's like even though we're playing the music really loudly, like no one else could hear it. It was on the grass. There were like park benches, all of which people were standing and dancing on or sitting on and drinking. They're blasting music. One Colombian girl taught me how to do salsa, or at least tried to teach me how to do salsa and failed, but she did her best. Me, I am the whitest man in the world when it comes to dancing. I can't do it. However, I have my man Daryl with me. He didn't need any help. He was dancing. He was killing it. His name's Daryl. Obviously, he's black and he's amazing at dancing. But the party itself was just awesome. It was so fun that I forgot that I was there and that there was some crazy girl that was looking to find me at the party. So I'm dancing. I'm having a great time. I don't have a worry in the world because I'm not thinking about the worries that I should be having. And then the girl who brought me to the party, she taps me on the shoulder and she's like, "Hey, there's your girlfriend." I look over and immediately I realize she is the girl from the pictures. At least she looked like her pictures, that's good. But as soon as I look over to her, she looks over to me, we make eye contact, and then she does a beeline straight over, and I'm just like, "Hey, how are you? It's so good to see you." Oh man. Because I didn't want to say it was good to see you because I didn't want to lie. The first thing she did when she saw me was she gave me a hug. And it was a little too long for the first time you ever meet someone. Here's a tip. Anytime you meet someone for the first time and they give you a hug that lasts over a 5 Mississippi count, run. I don't want to be just rude and just run straight off the bat, but in my head I'm thinking I gotta get out of this conversation as soon as possible. Because sometimes you can just have a conversation with them and you can just feel that there's something going on beneath the surface that you just shouldn't trust. Ladies, if you know what I'm talking about, if you ever talked to a guy and you just felt there was something off about the conversation and the person you're talking to, leave a comment down below telling me I'm not the only one. But very quickly, I could tell that my friend was going to be having a field day just saying, "I told you so." But yeah, I talked to this girl, Sarah, for a couple more minutes. Eventually, I say, "Hey, that's my friend over there. I gotta go. Hey, it was great seeing you." Here's the thing. There was no friend over in the distance. I just wanted to go. And I wanted to do it in the nicest way possible, so I pretended, "Hey, there's my friend. I gotta go say hi to them." I excuse myself from the conversation, and as I start walking away, I'm wandering around, I'm looking for Daryl. Then out of nowhere, this girl I do not know grabs me and goes, "Hey, I love your chain." Which, by the way, is this chain right here, which I have had for like my entire life. But I was just very confused because this girl is very attractive and I don't know why she came out of nowhere to just say she liked my chain. Little did I know that this was going to be the girl that I would end up having a thing with for like the next 6 months. And I'm one of those guys who's just like pretty out in the open. I'll just say whatever I'm thinking. And the first thing I said to this girl was like, why did you just come up to me and say that? And she was like, "Honestly, it's because this guy was talking to me and he wouldn't leave me alone and I just wanted to get out of the conversation." And as soon as she said that, I was like, oh my god, I love this girl. Because literally, I just did the exact same thing. I don't know what the odds of that are, but the odds of it are great enough for me to honestly just feel like me and this girl got each other on like a very deep level. So we started talking, she was easy to talk to, she had a personality, we exchanged numbers, we start going out, and yeah, for a couple of months it was pretty cool. Everything about her was pretty cool except for her taste in music. That was like the one thing where I was like, that's pretty bad. She liked Ed Sheeran though, so you know, I give her like somewhat of a pass, but other than that, that was like the chink in the armor. You guys know I love Ed Sheeran, and plus I just went to one of his concerts and it was like the craziest experience ever. I might make a video about that whole story because I basically got my tickets for free by accident, so if you guys want me to tell you that story, I'll tell that. But yeah, we became really good friends. We started talking about, you know, our goals and where we want to be in the future. I found out that she is going to exchange to another college that is many, many miles away. So in the back of my head, I didn't really like that because I knew this had to be something that was going to be short term instead of long term, but you know, I didn't want to let that ruin the present. And that is where the last video that I made picks up where this one leaves off. So if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video now. That way you're all caught up to speed with what else happened. I want you to know all the details, that way when we move forward you're not confused. But yeah, eventually we go to a party. I'm talking to guys, I'm talking to girls. She got a little bit jealous because she saw me talking to girls even though I wasn't flirting with them. So she got mad. The next day she says, "Hey, we need to talk," invites me out to coffee. We sit down and she says, "So what are we?" I actually just summed up that whole video in like 2 sentences. That really does show you how good I am at dragging out a story, by the way. But here's the problem. When someone asks you, hey, what are we? They're basically saying, hey, are we gonna be boyfriend, girlfriend, or not? And on one hand, I'm completely down for a relationship at this point, but on the other hand, I have to look at someone not in the short term, but the long term. Anytime you get into a relationship with someone, understand that it's either gonna end one of 2 ways, happily ever after, or with a lot of pain. Like, I've done the long distance, trust me, it sucks. That's pretty much what I explained to her. I said, hey, I mean, if this isn't gonna be something that goes on long term, I'm not going to make it worse for myself in the future when I know it's not going to last. The thing is, with relationships, you always have this like constant battle of like logic versus emotion, and the emotion is just so much more persuasive. But at the end of the day, you don't want to listen. Just because someone's more persuasive doesn't mean they're right. So we ended up having this thing where we weren't a thing, but we were a thing, but we weren't, but like we were exclusive, but we weren't. I don't know. It got really confusing. But yeah, that ended up lasting for a couple of months, and then, yeah, now she's gone. Now she has moved. That's the short ending to a very long answer that I don't feel like getting into any more detail with, because this video has gone on long enough. Feel free to let me know if you actually enjoyed this video, if it felt like it was a long video, or if it just went by like that for you, if you want me to do more story videos like this in the future. But guys, that's really all I've got to say, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next Monday. Oh, I got the hiccups. Peace.